I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, I feel for you more as a friend. Well, that's definitely not something you want to get in a text or an email, or certainly have a girl you're dating tell you in person. But I have a couple emails from guys that heard just that or something very similar. So we're going to talk about friend zone and how to avoid it and what the typical mistakes are that guys do that land themselves in friend zone. I think every guy at some point or another has actually done things. I know I did in my 20s. I got friend zoned a lot. It's not a fun place to be, especially when you really like a girl. And what makes it even worse is when you meet a girl and you really like her and you can tell, it's so fucking obvious that she's into you. And then after a few dates or a few weeks or maybe even a couple of months, if you get a little further than most people do, you get the dreaded friend zone. And that's just a really crappy place to be, especially when you're really digging the girl. So before we get into it, I got a quote that I wrote that I'm going to read, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into the first guy's email. I've got 3 that I'm going to go through with you today. It says, the dreaded friend zone, the place where the relationships or potential relationships of the guy who is too nice go to die a slow death of rejection. When a woman meets a man she potentially wants to date, she is internally questioning if he is good for her or not. Guys get friend zones for several predictable reasons. Calling too much, over-pursuing, acting needy, acting unworthy, not standing up for themselves, letting women and other people walk all over them, acting weak, acting timid, acting shy, expecting the women to be the leaders, acting unsure of themselves, not escalating things physically when the signs are there that women are ready to be touched or kissed, approval-seeking behavior, acting feminine, acting like women, trying to lock women down to a commitment, etc. Getting friend-zoned is a direct result of giving off a continuous vibe of unworthiness, uncertainty, being unsure, not knowing what to do or how to lead, making women feel superior and themselves inferior, etc. If you ever get friend-zoned, it's because you convince the woman through your words and actions that you are not on the same level as her, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And in essence, she just figures you're at a completely different place than she is in life, and she just doesn't want to be with you. She thinks of you strictly as like the gay male girlfriend, or maybe her therapist, or the guy that she can call and bounce things off of every now and then when she has dating questions. And if you're ever put in that position, you never, ever want to agree to being just friends. She tries, hey, let's just be friends. If you're okay with that, you can say, I'm not okay with that. I'm not interested in just being friends. And sometimes that's what it takes. If a woman ever gets to the point where she tries to put you in friend zone, you say you're not into it, sometimes that's all it takes for her to realize that you actually will stand up for yourself and not go along with something. In other words, she may be taking your being nice for being weak, and then when she tries to friend zone you, you're like, that doesn't work for me. It's all about, because women have to know that if they push you too far, you're going to walk and you're never going to look back. And when I say never look back, I mean never. That doesn't mean like 2 weeks from now or a month from now, she's got a birthday, there's a holiday coming up, and you think, oh gee, I haven't heard from her, let me buy her something, let me reach out to her to try to force something to happen. That means never. It means you walk. Meaning, if you never hear from her, if she never reaches out to you, it means the two of you will never speak again as long as you live. That's what walking away and never looking back means. That is the strongest negotiating position in life, is being able to walk away and mean it. When somebody serves you a shit burger sandwich, you don't sit there and go, oh, gee, okay, well, let me nibble on that a little bit and see if it, put a little Tabasco sauce, maybe a little barbecue sauce, and maybe it'll taste a little bit better. It's still a shit burger, and it still sucks. Don't fucking do it. So let's get in the first guy's email. He says, hey Corey, I'm so glad I came across your website and work recently. I just wish I could have found your teachings a little bit earlier. Well, what happened happened, and it couldn't have happened any other way. You showed up to my website and my videos exactly on time. You had to have the problem first in order to say, I need a solution to this, and gone and searched the internet or YouTube and then came across me. So you're here right on time. Whether you're feeling shitty or not, it's just nothing you can do. The past is the past. What's happened has happened. The only thing you can do is accept it, see things as they are, not worse than they are, and not better than they are, but simply as they really are right now in the present moment, and take the appropriate actions going forward. He says, I was only able to pick and apply a handful of your book's videos, etc. with my current dating situation. Needless to say, I've been quite self-conscious of myself becoming too needy, and I used to communicate too much to the other girls I tried to go out with in the past. That's the kind of thing I used to do in my 20s, because I just didn't know. I didn't know when to set dates. I didn't know when to go for the kiss. It's just like I had absolutely fucking no clue. Because my parents weren't affectionate towards one another at all. They weren't affectionate towards us. And nobody in our family was affectionate. They never said I loved you. They never hugged or anything. It's like my grandfather would come over and he'd reach out his hand and shake our hand. He did the same thing to my dad. It's like, oh, what the fuck's that? When you're a kid, you just think that's normal. But when you grow up and you start dating, you realize how growing up in an environment like that makes you totally emotionally inept and unable to understand how, when touching is appropriate, when to go for the kiss and all those things. He says, with my most recent one, I was able to avoid making those exact mistakes, but I found myself falling short on gaining attraction, and I admit that's what cost me this opportunity with this girl who seemed like a really great match. Another thing you got to realize about these situations, because I know they sting like a motherfucker, when you're rejected and then you're fucking hurt and you're thinking, damn, that girl was really amazing and we really had a connection. And I wish I did, but I don't meet women like that every day. They maybe come along every couple of months, a few times a year, maybe every couple of years, and those hurt because you know it's going to be a while before somebody like that comes along again that pushes your buttons in all of those magical ways. And so what you got to do is internally you got to resolve to yourself that, hey, what I've been doing is not working. I need to change shit, and this is not pleasant. And that's what it takes for anybody to make any kind of change, whether it's losing weight, or getting their relationship or their dating life in order, or getting better at pickup, or starting that business. It's like, or changing your career if you're not happy. You have to get to a place where you're just like, I'm fucking tired of this. I've had absolutely enough of things being this way. I am fucking done. That's it. Thank you. Fucking check, please. I'm ready to fucking move on with my life and do something differently. And it's like, once you get to that place, you hit bottom, if you will. That's what it takes for most people to say, you know what, I'm moving in a new direction. What I've done up to this point in my life ain't fucking working. And that's the place that I got to. He says, so I ended up getting this let's just be friends speech. Hey, I hope you're having a fantastic time with your family this weekend. I've been thinking about it for a couple of days, and I wanted to let you know that I really enjoy your company, and I think you're really cool and inspiring person, and I feel for you more as a friend than a boyfriend. Oh, how nice. I've had a great time hanging out. Shooting was epic, and would love to do so again in the future as friends, if that's something you're interested in. If not, I understand. I just want to let you know where I'm at this point and to appreciate you for your time and your willingness to share yourself with me. You're really awesome. Oh, that's so nice. God, it's such a self-esteem builder. Makes you feel really great. I like you so much. You're such a really awesome guy, but you know what? I just don't want to have sex with you. Brings back memories, yeah. Brings back those 20s, like the lost decade, I like to refer to it as. He says, I countered with a, quite frankly, this isn't a fair suggestion. I would not stand to be just your friend. I got plenty of good friends, and someone fun like you just doesn't fit as just a friend, but I understand how you feel, and that is your choice, but it isn't mine. Sadly, I'm choosing to walk in this situation. Take care. Let me know in the future if you change your mind. At least you stood up for yourself. I would have just been simple. I would have said, hey, I think you're a really great gal too, but I'm not interested in anything with platonic. I'm not interested in just being your friend. My interest in you is strictly romantic. If you ever change your mind, reach out to me, and I'd love to see you and continue exploring what we have. And you walk and you never look back. But you did basically the same thing in your own words, and that's okay. You basically let her know that she pushed you too far and that you were walking. You didn't have to say you're walking, but bottom line is that it's clear as a fucking bell that, that doesn't work for me, honey. Don't take my being nice for my being weak. And so you're standing up for yourself. And that's why it's so powerful, because it usually is confusing. Because most guys, when women give them that kind of speech, they continue to pursue, they continue to chase, or they just go along with it, going, yes, ma'am, okay, I'll be friends only right now until you tell me I can be otherwise. And they just go along with it, hoping it's going to change, and then they find out that she's sleeping with another guy, and then all of a sudden, as the months go by, he hears from her less and less, to the point where she never talks to him anymore, never reaches out to him anymore. Until, of course, she breaks up with the guy she's with, and then she needs the guy for emotional support. But since he won't ever stand up for himself, he'll never get out of friend zone. But you'll be different because you're watching Coach Corey Wayne. He says, I personally felt I was a bit harsh, but I accepted what had happened and I would go through with it. Good for you, dude. That's what it fucking takes. That's what a man is. He's got a set of balls. He says, this doesn't work for me. I don't want this bullshit. I like you, but I'm not interested in that. Thank you, but no thank you. In other news, I'm on a dating site and I just started exchanging the first 2 to 3 messages with another girl. He says, Coach, I need some help in reassuring that the last concluding actions with girl 1 was the best move I could have made. Yep, absolutely. Good fucking job. You get the gold star, buddy. Give yourself a fucking cookie. And I basically need some help with taking other steps to learn from my mistakes. So the best thing that you can be doing for yourself right now is learning the fundamentals. Because there is a 50-50 chance, I'd say. It's like flip a fucking coin that this ex-girlfriend will come back. And the best thing that you can do is to prepare for that potential eventuality. By learning the fundamentals I teach in my book, reading the book 10 to 15 times, and there's a reason you need to do that. I don't just say that for the hell of it. I'm saying it because you got to learn the fundamentals. Because otherwise you're going to make mistakes. You got to know this stuff so well because you got to think quick on your feet with women. You can't sit there and go, I know it was like page 85. There was something about that shit. How do I respond to that? You can't be doing that when a girl's fucking testing you and pressuring you right now on the fucking spot. You gotta know it. You gotta know it without even having to think about it, where it just literally pops in your mind. Just bam, it's right in there. And that happens by reading the book over and over and over again, 10 to 15 times at a minimum. Literally the point where you could get up and teach this stuff, you know it so well. That's how well you want to know it, because there are literally hundreds of tips and tricks in there and things to watch out for and things that women will say and do that you gotta know it, because that's the only way you're gonna spot it. And that way, if you learn the fundamentals and you go out there and apply it with these new women that you're meeting with online dating, which I did an article a while back, and I do reference this in the book as well. If you Google Corey Wayne, the ultimate online dating profile, follow that. That'll help you. But the best way to meet women is in fucking person. I love that more than anything. I have a dating profile up, and I don't even fucking look at it. And I even have Tinder. It's like, I don't even fuck with that either, because I just like, the only reason I do it is because I have a lot of clients that ask me about it. So I kind of do it to keep my finger in the water, but I'm fucking lazy with it. I don't keep up with it. I just prefer meeting women in person. It's less, to me, it's less work, it's more rewarding, and I know instantly what the girl is like. With pictures, I mean, you know, it's like a crapshoot. You never know really what you're going to get. You know, if she sounds good on the phone, when you see her in person, you might not really be that into her. She might really not be that into you. But when you meet somebody in person, and she likes you and you like her, that is so self-evident, it can't be ignored, and it's obvious to anybody watching it. And so when you make a date with somebody like that and they're mutually enthusiastic about getting together with you, it's so fucking easy. Because you're going to get together and you're going to have a great fucking time. Much better time than if you take all of your online dating averages, your successes as a whole versus the women that you meet in person. The women that you meet in person is going to go a lot better, a lot easier, a lot more effortless. Because you know when you're looking, you can check out her butt, her boobs, her legs, her face, the tone of her voice, everything about her right there in person. But digitally, electronically, it's just not, it's going to not be as good. So practice, 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 practice. Because if you got 3 or 4 girls that you're hanging out and having fun and hooking up with, like I talk about in my book, and the ex reaches out, you're not going to just jump through your butt to jump at the first opportunity to be with you. You're going to be like, hey, babes, great to hear from you. I'd love to see you. When are you free to get together? Tuesday? Great. How about 8 o'clock? Grab a bottle of wine, come on over to my place, we'll make dinner together so we can catch up. I'd love to see you. That's what you say to her in text or on the phone. Make definite plans. If she says, I don't know, I kind of wanted to meet out someplace, just say, hey, it's been a long week. I'm really just in the mood to hang. I'd love to catch up and chill with you, but if that doesn't work for you, give me a call in a few weeks, and when things settle down a little bit, I'll be more up to do something a little more formal and go out and do something like that. That's all part of standing up for yourself. Again, women have to know that if they push you too far, you're going to walk and never look back. And when a woman has rejected you, this is what I say. You never go out, you never take her on a date because you don't want to go out of your way for her. If she wants to come over and make it up to you and hang out and have fun and make dinner at your place, then awesome. If she's, because women know, if they're coming over to your place with a bottle of wine and you're making dinner together, well, what used to happen when you did that in the past? You usually had sex. So she knows that your intentions are strictly romantic, and if she's down with that possibility, she's going to come over. And if not, she's going to give you some kind of excuses. And the only way you're going to get her to come over and do that when you've had a history with her in the past of doing things like that and being intimate with her is to stand your ground. In other words, she comes over, you're not fucking interested. You're only taking women out and spending money on them if they're treating you properly. You don't reward bad behavior by going out and spending tons of money on them, taking them out and wining them, dining them, all that fucking bullshit. She kicked you to the curb like you were the fucking trash, and now she's realized, oops, that guy was actually probably a pretty good catch. I kind of fucked up. She needs to come to your house, hang out, have fun, and hook up at your place. She needs to work to earn you back. You're not going to just fucking jump through your butt and take her to $200 or $300 dinners. Fuck that. Take her to nothing. Have her come over and let her bring the wine and make something together. Keep it simple. That way it'll show that she's flexible and she's got a good attitude, and it'll make her, put her in a place where she's actually trying to earn you back. If you got 2 or 3 other girls, you're going to be in the best position. Because, so what if it doesn't work out? You're hooking up with other girls. Makes it really fucking simple, dude. Simplify your life. And when you're learning this stuff and you haven't mastered it, the best favor you can do for yourself is to have several options. So get fucking busy. Let's go. So let's move on to the second email. This guy says, hey Corey, I'm 50 years old and I met a gorgeous Latina who is 42 years old last March on Match. We went out, but the relationship progressed very slowly. She'd been married and divorced twice, and she was busy raising her kids. Now just has a 15-year-old at home. I would try to make dates, but she was always busy and wanted to text a lot. That's why the phone is for setting dates. You're not being direct. You're not being decisive. You know, that boils down. It's like the quote that I shared. This is being the leader. Your job as a man is to create a fun-filled romantic opportunity for sex to happen, not to chit-chat on the phone a lot, not to text a lot as you're doing, because that's how you become the therapist and the gay male girlfriend. We would go on dates like once a month, it seemed. Well, that's because you were over-pursuing her. When a woman says, no, I'm busy, I can't, then you say, when you ask a girl out for a date and you've been hanging out and having fun and hooking up with her, and all of a sudden she's like, oh, I don't know, I'm busy, then you say, well, when your schedule frees up, get in touch with me and we'll plan something then. And then whenever she gets in touch with you after that, assume she checked her schedule, she's ready to make a date. She's not going to volunteer that. If she reaches out, she'll probably go, oh, hey, I saw a movie last night, I was thinking about her. Oh, hey, I saw Bob the other day and we were talking about you. Great. Hey, it's great to hear from you. I'd love to see you. When are you free to get together? Get right to the fucking point. Don't send, oh, I got to send 2 or 3 texts back and forth. Fuck that. Get right to the point. Make dates or move on. He says, we did go on a date the next day, and I invited her over to my place and had wine, sex, and a good time. Good job. Hang out, have fun, hook up. That's all you need to be focused on. But you're obviously pursuing too much if you're only seeing her like once a month. She seemed rattled that she slept with me at that time. So then we went back to the regular long links before dates. She seemed to pull me in and then push me out. You were just too pliable, and you didn't just back off at appropriate times. You kept calling. And so she realized that if she blew you off, you're still going to call next week or tomorrow or the day after. That's why it is so powerful when you completely stop all of your forward movement. When she says, I'm busy, or I don't feel like seeing you, I got other things going on. Fuck that noise. You're going to move on and do something else and wait to hear from her. And she'll eventually realize that if she doesn't reach out to you, she'll never hear from you again. That's fucking powerful. He says it was frustrating thinking that we were moving forward and then going back out. She even suggested taking a trip over the summer and then would pull back once I was leading to make it happen. However, I did get her to go on a trip to Central America with me for a week. I plan to have a fun and fun-filled sex the whole time, but she was having female problems the whole week, and I had erectile problems from too high of a testosterone treatment. Jeesh, he says. Well, that sucks. We did have sex twice, I think. You think? She was bitchy the whole time, so it was a rough trip. We actually got into an argument and didn't speak for a week. Then said our sorries. In other words, you probably did all the apologizing. And then back on track, so to speak. She would invite me over more to stay the night for a while, and then just stopped once family moved to town. Again, pull me in and push me away. Well, the only reason she doesn't bring you around her family is because you're really just kind of a fuck buddy at that point. She's not emotionally connected to you enough to want to involve you in her family. Again, that's why I teach men to focus on hanging out, having fun, and hooking up. Because until the woman brings up a commitment, until she feels that emotional bond, that's all it is hanging out, having fun, and hooking up. You like her, she likes you. You just got to not talk her out of it, basically. He says, I had not read your book until afterwards. I was appearing weak by texting too much. That was predictable. And eventually was me doing most of it. Yep, you're acting like the woman. And therefore, remember, it's a scientific fact that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. And so if you would have backed off when she was like, when you try her, I'm busy, when you try to set a date with her, and you would have done nothing, you would have stopped moving forward, and you would have waited for her to reach out a few days later when she wondered, oh, where's he doing? Where'd he go? What happened? And then like, hey, great to hear from you. And then you make the next date, she would have started coming to you more and more. It's a subtle difference, but it's a massive difference. A guy should never be doing more than 20 to 30% of calling, texting, and pursuing. And really, that only applies for the first couple weeks, because if you're following what I teach in my book, by the second or third week, the woman will pretty much be doing 100% of the calling, texting, pursuing. Why? Women say about 8,000 words a day on average. Guys say about 2,000. That's one reason why. Feminine energy is all about bonding, connecting, opening up to receive love, and that's what women are. Women are physically designed to receive us. So bonding and connecting, that's the woman's department. That's feminine energy. The guy's focused on his purpose and his mission in life. And he's okay with calling her once a week to get together. But when the woman starts to really feel a bond developing, she wants to bond and connect more than once per week. And then she starts to reach out more and more as the time goes by. And the guy, of course, he's glad she called, and he makes the next date. So they start seeing each other more than once a week. That's how you let it evolve. Just like I talk about in the book. If you haven't read my book yet, read it. He says she then would get, and if you haven't read my book, you're like, hey, how do I get that book, Corey? Go to my website, and on the right-hand corner, upper right-hand corner, there's the email sign-up box, and directly underneath it, there's a box with a digital version of my book, or the cover, I should say. When you click that, it'll take you right to Amazon. You can order the Kindle version or the paperback version, whatever you want. He says she then would get to where she wasn't responding sometimes, and so in other words, you were texting her to the point where she just started ignoring you. Women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear, and your feelings became so clear that she's just kind of stuck you in friend zone and could take it or leave it, because you know what? There's no consequences. She knows that you're going to keep texting her even if she ignores you, so it's no big deal. He says also, I was trying to impress her by buying her things and sending her flowers, etc., wasting money. Yeah. That's a bad fucking way to go. I confronted her saying that I didn't really want to date anyone else and be exclusive. More acting like the woman. You're over-pursuing her and you're wanting to lock her down to a commitment. Just like I said in the quote at the beginning of the video. All the beta male things and doing shit wrong. My thought is that her attraction was high at first but then dropped over time by my actions. Yep. Pretty good assessment. And that's what's great about reading the book, is that then you see where you went wrong. And for those of you that maybe watch this going, I don't want to spend $10 or $30 for a paperback book, you can read the book for free on my website. Just read the fucking thing. If you sign up for the email list in the members area, you can read the book for free. And then once you see that really I do know what I'm talking about, then go and buy the book. Just get the fucking help you need, man. But you got to learn the fundamentals. He says, I would see her from time to time and suggested taking another trip. She originally said yes, but then she said she couldn't. She then proceeded to say that she met someone and really wanted to keep me as a friend. Oh, goody! I told her I wasn't interested in friendship, but keep my number and call if she changed her mind. It's been since December, early December, that she contacted me about a real estate transaction just to inform me. I really didn't need to know, a small thing. I responded in short, just business. The next morning I saw her on Match.com and I responded on TalkMatch saying, now you're pursuing her again. That it was nice to hear from her and that I would love to see her. We should catch up. When are you free to get together? It's like, he's like, here's one form of contact for her and then he goes right back to his old ways. What you should have done is when you didn't hear from her, is I would have said, hey, great to hear from you. When are you free to get together? I'd love to see you. And made a date. If she didn't respond, you just walk and never look back. You should always assume that when a woman reaches out, she wants to see you and make a date. She's not going to talk about going out on a date. She's going to talk about some other innocuous bullshit. Why? Because that's how they go about it. They don't want to risk rejection. They're just kind of sticking their finger in the water and making it easy for you to make something happen. But instead, you danced in a circle like a dog chasing its tail. He says, grab a bottle of wine and we can make dinner. She responded, I'm sure that we can pull it off sometime next week. And then when she said that, I would have said, great. Get in touch with me when you figure out your schedule. You got to know the book. And this is what happens when you don't know it. You fuck it up. He says, I sent her a text saying, let's do Tuesday next week at my place. You bring good wine. You're like a caveman. Let's do Tuesday next week at my place. You bring good wine. I give you big penis. He says she hasn't responded. He says, I'll be honest, I was strong at first, but let my heart get involved after our trip. I'm extremely attracted to her, and have been afraid to lose her. Well, that's not helpful. It's not a helpful mindset to be in. When you're in a fearful state, what you fear you attract, and what happened? You fell under the illusion of action because you were fearful, and you literally chased her right out of your life. He says, I really want it to work, but I've been mending a broken heart. Now I'm thinking, okay, how do I act if and when she comes over for this date? Is she going to have a date or is she going to try and push me away in the friend zone? Well, I don't know. She hasn't responded, so if she comes over, hang out, have fun, and hook up as soon as she wants you. That's what I would do. He says, I'm thinking, what would James Bond do on his date, but I'm a little scared that he may go if she pushes me away. Basically, I'm asking you, what is my mindset and how should I proceed in this date? Dude, I would just relax. When she comes over, make a date, hang out, have fun, hook up on your date, and don't complicate things. So this is what you do. Say she does come over. She calls, says, hey, are we still on for tonight? And then you just say, hey, absolutely, I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you at 8 or I'll see you at whatever it was that you set your time for. And so she comes over when you open your door like, hey, beautiful, you look amazing. And then just grab her, kiss her right on the fucking lips. That's what James Bond would do. That's what a guy who assumes she's there because she likes him. Think about it. She's coming over to your place. Duh. She's coming to your man cave, bro. Hang out, have fun, and hook up. Assume she's there to see you. Kiss her on the lips. Treat her just like your girl. Treat her like you normally would. Treat her like, of course, this is what's going to happen. Hang out. Let her do 80% of the talking by you just simply asking questions and laughing and having fun together. Don't be talking about the relationship. Don't be talking about the other guys that she's dating. Just have the idea of, hey, you know what? I don't care about them. They can keep you busy when you're not with me. And at some point, when she's playing with her hair and she's touching your arm, or you're like sitting next to each other and her leg's touching yours, you take your hand and put it on the inside of her thigh and look over at her and go, I think you need to get over with and kiss me right now. I think your lips look a little bit dry and we need to do something about that right now, sweetheart. Just like that. And you kiss, you start making out. And then if she backs off, let her back off. And wait for her to, and then go back to having a conversation. And maybe it'll be an hour before she starts touching you again. That's why you wait for her to come back. And when she does, you start making out again. You just slowly escalate it. Whenever she backs off, when the touching is happening, there's a chapter in my book called Women Are Like Cats. And I discuss this in there. You got to let her go. It may be 5 minutes, maybe 3, maybe an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours before she comes back. And once she starts touching you again, then you slowly reciprocate, pull her in, start making out with her. If she backs away, it's the same thing. Let her go. And then let her come back to you. It's slow escalation until eventually it escalates to the point where you're naked and she's naked and you're in bed together. And so you can give her your meat missile. So let's get on to the third and final email. This guy says, hey coach, my longtime housekeeper's daughter, who's 25 years old, nice, recently has shown interest in me. I'm 50. Good job, bro. How do you like them younger women? Oh yeah. Even to the degree that and there's probably some women watching going, ah, you're a pig. Like, I know. Hey, I'm just a guy. This is the way we are. We like women. We're visual creatures. And yes, we're pretty much always thinking about sex. And any dude that ever tells you differently, he's full of shit. It's just the way we are. Hey, don't hate us. It's the way we are. Sorry. We like women. What can we do? If we didn't like women, guess what? There wouldn't be very many of us here on this planet. So obviously we've been pretty successful at that because there's 6.5 billion people on this planet. We all got here through sex. We're sexual beings. That's the bottom line. Embrace it. Don't complain about it. Own it. Embrace it. Be grateful for it. It's your birthright to have great sex, to have great lovers in your life. He says, even to the degree that she says she has sensual dreams. However, she has a boyfriend of 3 years that she lives with, but she's left on 3 different occasions and states that she's going to leave soon. She stayed over at my house once. We kissed, groped, and grinded, but didn't have sex due to her time of the month. Red Wings! Since we have spoke by phone and she stated she felt guilty, so here's the deal. She has a boyfriend, and it sounds like she's looking to hook up. Well, she's a fuck buddy. She's a sex playmate. She's a great girl to have an open relationship with, but she cheats on her boyfriend. That's not the kind of woman you can marry or have as a girlfriend. I'm sorry, that's just the way she is. If she was a strong person, if she had integrity, she'd say, you know what, it's not fair to me, it's not fair to him. And she'd break up with him because she'd have the attitude, hey, I can find a new man right away, a better man for me. She wouldn't lead this guy on or line up a replacement. Why is she doing that? The only reason a man or a woman keeps somebody in the background is they are too fucking weak to go it on their own. And they're selfish. And they're inconsiderate, and it's fucking rude, and loyalty doesn't mean anything. The way they look at it is, hey, I'm happy, so let me deceive my lover until I find a replacement. Because they don't want to risk not having anybody in their life. But she's a sex playmate, and as long as you know that, we'll continue to proceed. So in this particular case, I would never call her, I would never text her, I would never reach out to her. Why? She has a boyfriend. If she calls you, just be like, hey, great to hear from you. I'd love to see you. When are you free to get together? Tuesday? Awesome. How about Tuesday, 8 o'clock, my place, grab a bottle of wine and come on over and we'll make dinner together. That's all you got to do. And if she doesn't want to do that, then just say, great, give me a call when you change your mind or give me a call when you figure out your schedule and we'll plan something then. She either comes over and hangs out and has fun at your place because what you want to do is you want to get right back to what you did on the first date. Bottom line is it's just a matter of time. And if you let that happen, if you let the cat come back to you, because this cat has another cat in her life. She has a boyfriend. She's taken. She's not relationship dating material. She's fuck buddy material. And if she wants to be a fuck buddy, you don't have to mention it. You don't have to talk about it. Just interact with her in a way just like James Bond would. She reaches out, calls you, texts you. Oh, she must want to see me. Let me make that date happen in as few steps as possible. He says, since we have spoke by phone and she stated she felt guilty, but she didn't express regret. However, now all we do is occasionally talk on the phone. Dude, you got to make dates. You don't be talking on the phone. You're becoming her therapist and her gay male girlfriend. He says, I'm not going to be a phone buddy, and I'm asking for your opinion on how to get her back over and seal the deal. Stop calling her. Stop texting her. Stop reaching out to her. Stop 100% of your initiating. Wait for her to initiate. When she initiates contact with you, whether it's through text or email or a phone call, be direct, get right to the point. I mean immediately right to the point. This is your response, whether it's through the phone, text, or email. Hey, babe, great to hear from you. I would love to see you again. When are you free to get together? Let her tell you. If she says, gee, I don't know, I just kind of wanted to talk or chit-chat, just say, hey, well, I'm really jammed up right now, and I can't talk, so check your schedule, and then get back to me, and we'll plan something then so we can get together and catch up. Just like that. And then next time she contacts you, assume she checked her schedule, same exact response. This is what you were text back or say back to her. Hey, great to hear from you. I'd love to see you. When are you free to get together? Well, I'm free Thursday night. Great. How about Thursday, 8 o'clock, my place? Grab a bottle of wine and come on over. We'll make dinner together. And she'll say, sounds good. Awesome. Can't wait to see you then. I got to run. Bye. And then leave the conversation. The phone is for setting dates. And if you do that and she comes over, you'll be bumping uglies later. Absolutely. So that's what I would do if I were you. It's really simple. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching. You can do that. Choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the Products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.